All right, all this. This is stupid. We are watching Timbaland damage, if not destroy, his entire legacy. A legacy that few producers who have ever lived on planet Earth can actually make a claim to. All for the love and dedication to artificial intelligence companies. And it's weird. I feel like something else must be going on. And what I really can't wrap my head around is how blatant the lies and the gaslighting from Timbaland and his people have become lately. A lot of artists, a lot of producers felt disrespected by the announcement that he was starting an AI label. And so as a result of his fans, of his colleagues, of his supporters feeling disrespected, Timbaland decided to disrespect them even more by making this video.
Whatever. Go ahead and cry me a river.
Y'all crying about AI taking your spot, but your songs barely mix. Why would we train it on that?
It's been established that the AI company Timbaland works for is training on copyrighted music that is most likely of varying degrees of being mixed. It's been proven that Suno is infringing on producer copyrights in a very blatant way. For example, that Cash Money AP tag, I've made a whole video about the tag situation in Suno, and it's actually so well known that on Suno's wiki, there's even a whole page dedicated to how to handle producer tags in Suno AI. I remember when the US Court of Appeals announced that fully AI generated works were not protected by copyright. No Labels Necessary posted a news story about that, and Timbaland was the top comment. He said, "I've been telling you, it's called collaboration." So he was always trying to characterize generative AI, clicking a button, having a song come out, as collaboration. Collaboration with whom? The millions of people who had their music stolen to feed the AI's training models. That was also disproven.
I want you to listen to not only this beat, but I want you to listen for his producer tag. You'll hear it in a sec. You heard that?
That story is crazy, and look that up because Timbaland and the producer himself have both confirmed that that's exactly what happened, that Timbaland fed someone else's beat into Suno AI without that producer's permission, which is a violation of Suno's terms, which Timbaland claims isn't happening when he's doing it and filming himself as evidence, snitching on himself, and then turning around and gaslighting the producer community and saying this is collaboration. And here's a clip from Weaver's synopsis of Timbaland's live stream with Young Guru, during which he claims that old sound modules were actually AI.
That started back then, that rolling. Okay, you hit that button.
I get it.
But what I'm trying to say is the machine was already learning.
Bro. Timbaland actually claimed that a randomized button on an old 90s era sound module was AI. And it's not just Timbaland coming up with these outrageous statements, it's his colleagues as well. A lot of people are coming to his defense. Here's Ray Daniels.
Let me tell you what an AI character is. Mickey Mouse is an AI character. Donald Duck is an AI character. Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, he actually said that. So I look at these blatant lies and I think, why do they think we're so stupid? Why do they think that producers are going to believe that hand-drawn cartoons from the 1920s are artificial intelligence? You think producers are going to believe that early animation is actually AI? You think we're so low IQ that we're going to believe auto-tune is AI? That cartoons are AI? That arpeggiators on vintage outboard gear are AI?
How is this any different than Marshmallow? He's a real person who came up with the idea. What do you mean?
Oh, we're fucked. I think the one compelling defense of AI that I've heard is that artists are so difficult to work with that now, and we hear it all the time. A lot of artists get bitter with the stuff that I say on YouTube. And that's why they say stuff like, well, AI is going to replace all of you. You're going to be irrelevant because AI, blah, blah, blah. And ironically, the narrative is that artists are going to be replaced by AI. That's why Timbaland is signing an AI artist, whatever the hell that means. How do you sign something that doesn't exist? But I actually completely disagree with that, and I will fight on behalf of artists all day. Just because some artists are difficult to work with, that doesn't mean you replace humans with an AI system that has stolen all the work from humans and cut them out completely. That is a violation of consent. On the topic of consent, here's Ray Daniels caping for Timbaland once again.
Jimmy Iovine famously told me one day, get you something that don't talk back. What is better than an AI artist that don't talk back? He said it.
This sounds like a dude who left his wife to fuck a sex doll all day because the sex doll is not going to talk back. It's weird. It's creepy. We start getting into some very dark territory. Ultimately, AI is a consent problem, but again, the music industry is full of people who have problems with consent. Do I think AI is going to completely destroy music? No. Is it going to replace a lot of people? Yes. Micro syncs, background music, film scoring, all of that stuff is probably going to be the first to go. Do I like seeing the backlash Timbaland is getting? Absolutely. I do feel like Timbaland is a symbol for a greater problem. Timbaland doesn't own Suno. He's not the CEO. He's just the punching bag for everything that AI represents because he's decided to make himself that. I don't know why. I brought this very question up to my podcast partners. The link to the full podcast channel is below. What do you think is what is going on? What do you think? I'm sure there are going to be a bunch of comments saying, well, AI, dude, auto-tune just the same as AI. Cool, man. But for those of us whose IQs are higher than any one of the model numbers of the recent iPhone releases, someone has to have a strong theory as to why this is all happening.
Timbaland recently did a live with Guru, and he had like different people come in. The one thing that I will give him credit for, because I'm not going to give him credit for much in this conversation, is just allowing different perspectives to have the stage. I'll give him a few points for that. Because my guy John, I think John Sway is how you pronounce his last name, but he participated in one of the contests that we hosted. I forget which one it was, but I think that's how I originally got connected to him. And obviously, he was very passionately against what Timbaland is doing in terms of presenting a new AI artist called Tata. And John came on and called him, pretty much demonic to his face. So I'll give Timbaland a couple of points just for allowing different perspectives to share.
Hot take, he's feeding that into the algorithm too. I'm not even joking though. I'm like, at this point, I don't trust, bruh. Like, that's why I told you I'm not even watching these videos no more because I feel like he's soul sucking even our energy just watching it. So I'm like, bro, maybe plugging this into Suno just for the IP of people who think divergently. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't understand it. It's Timbaland obviously hit the scene with a very unique sound and did obviously a lot of hits, helped produce for, so many dope artists, always at the cutting edge of everything. And I guess this is kind of on like it just the idea of being on the forefront and kind of like, because the sound was such a step forward when you first heard Missy and Mr. Magoo and what he did with Genuine and stuff. Maybe in his mind, like he's looking at, I gotta be at the front of this too. But this to me is not a step in the right direction. With an AI, like backing an AI art, especially when I could maybe take it a little better if he also was still working with artists and like advancing sounds like with actual artists, and then maybe
that's the cap. He has a label deal with UMG Nashville and has a country artist right now that's doing a lot. His country artist just played at the Grand Ole Opry a month ago. That's the crazy thing to me.
What was frustrating to me was like he was sitting there like he didn't have skin in the game. He was sitting there like he was just moderating a conversation and didn't have any investment on the AI side. He was just sitting back, kind of taking it in information and just like playing a moderator role, as opposed to, I don't know what defense he would have for this, but like, because somebody had mentioned in the chat, I don't know exactly what the context was, but somebody had mentioned blockchain technology, and he was like, oh, I like what that person said, blockchain. Like, what are you talking about? Do you know what any of this stuff is? Like, are you being used? I mean, he's definitely being used by these bigger companies, but do you even realize you're being used, to give this some type of credibility? It was just weird. It was awkward. It was weird to me. Guru was trying to explain to him some things, and he was acting like he didn't understand. Then he just like randomly went to the bathroom. I was like, what is this guy's kind of a clown, Like the way he's presenting himself right now is like, you seem clueless, and you're acting like you're not why we're here having this conversation. Payne, I
It's
don't
a
know how much
PR
you watch.
disaster, an absolute PR disaster. For I don't know why because at first people felt that, creators felt disrespected by Timbaland's announcements. So his response was to make videos disrespecting them even further. It's terrible PR. And then he saw the backlash and he got on the lives and was like, all right, well, let's have a dialogue. But instead of having a dialogue, he was distracted the other entire time, looking bored, talking over Guru when I think her name is Janley or Jane Lee. She's an exec. She was going off on him, but he was basically looking the other direction and like welcoming other guests and having other conversations. So it's a PR dumpster fire. But off camera, you were talking about Rodney Jerkins, right? I didn't see that clip. Can you explain? Because this is one of those things where like, here's another great producer that we love. I'm sorry, Aaron. I know you love Rodney Jerkins too. What did he say? Oh, I thought you did. My bad.
Yeah, so Rodney came on the Breakfast Club, and it was just a clip that I saw on Instagram. But kind of in defense of Timbaland, so one defense I actually kind of resonate with. I'll tell you what that is second. But like the first one was, AI is a tool. You can it can be defined as a tool, but he was trying to defend it in a way that it like takes some kind of time to learn how to become a good prompter, because that was his thing. It's like you almost have to learn how to be a good prompter. Like he didn't make this direct comparison, but it sounded like it almost as if you have to learn how to play an instrument. It's like you can learn how to be a good prompter in seconds, literally in seconds. You can't learn how to play an instrument in seconds unless you're some kind of like, prodigy. So making that argument is just completely ridiculous to me. That but the part that did resonate with me though is why Timbaland announces this new AI artist Tata. He was like, well, the AI artist doesn't talk back. Now, I don't think it's a reason. I don't think it's a reason to do this. But I was like, that is true. It would be nice to work
Dave,
with
that's crazy.
it. But it would be nice
No,
to
that
work with
sounds like the sex androids that people are like, oh, the
Correct.
sex
Thank you.
androids.
That's crazy.
That's where we get, and I just want to say my overarching problem with AI is consent. I don't know why the fuck consent is such a difficult concept for any of these guys to address. I haven't heard any of them address consent. They want to talk about AI as a tool, or we not training on none of y'all shit. They want to do all this dancing around
Why
the
is
core
Tata
issue.
a woman?
And people were saying, well, why is she an Asian woman? It's just a lot of weird shit going on. But then look at there's a larger consent problem in the entertainment industry. Diddy, Weinstein, Epstein, Seinfeld, the Tate brothers. A lot of guys look up to these guys.
Different direction. I didn't know you guys were going in this direction.
I'm gonna end there.
Doesn't talk back is literally like that sounds like the most patriarchal, most like anti-woman thing to say. I know it's like you're thinking about it from a like artists are a headache. I'm hearing that as a woman who is often told you shouldn't speak so much. Like, even in our comments, consistently men say, I talk too much. So when I hear a man say about a female presenting AI experiment, she doesn't talk back, especially a man that I've dealt with who doesn't treat women well. What would you expect me to, as a woman in America? And I know it's a joke, Dame, but this shit is super dark to me. In a whole, there's a lot of other stuff going on. Brandon from Digilog yesterday posted a video and said that this was digital colonization. And I'm like, yeah, led by an Uncle Tom, which is crazy to me because it's clear he's being used because he doesn't even understand basic Web3 terminology. And that to me, at first, I thought his soul was dead. Then I'm like, oh no, his brain is just dead. Bro doesn't even understand that he's onboarding the over the gentrification of our culture. Like he said, here's your on ramp rapidly. And I'm going to say the artists that have the most soul. Y'all remember way before he even announced this, I was pissed when he said AI had more soul. It had the most soul right now. So you're
He's walking
saying
that
it
comment
has
back.
the most soul because you sucked the soul out of all these people on your live. That's why, remember I said this. Why is he still holding these lives with artists if he's going the AI direction? Boom, he announces his AI artist. I said, oh, it was all a front. He's taking all of their IP every week and plugging this shit into Suno. And I feel like it hasn't even been like nobody's even looking at that yet. But I'm like, that's why you would be doing lives because it's just giving you a ton of you're hearing what the new age of music, what young hungry artists who have nothing to lose are creating. You're looking at the landscape of music from across the world because people are tuning in globally and giving him sounds. This shit is crazy to me. I don't take it lightly. I didn't really want to say a ton because it bothers me so much and I don't have anything good to say. But to me, from a cultural standpoint, I'm way more offended than I am from him being a great music creative. Like as a black man, knowing what's happened to our culture in this country and in this world consistently, for you to be the one who's opening up the floodgates is crazy to me. And then to see how ignorant he is, it's one thing to be knowingly doing it. That type of person I just think is soulless. But for him to be so ignorant, it's like, damn, it really feels like they waved some dollars at bro. And he's probably looking at legacy money. Like, and the sad part is Timbo has money. Like, his legacy, he has records making dumb money even still right now, like publishing masters, all sorts of stuff like this. So it's like he's looking at like another level, another realm of wealth to betray humanity, it feels like. And I know that feels like a weighty, heavy thing to say, but I can't get behind somebody like this. I don't want to give him my energy when it comes to me looking at his stuff. I hate that I'm even giving energy to this conversation, but I feel like somebody like me has to represent even women in this industry and say, this is crazy. Like, why does she look the way she does? Whatever. Why does it sound like this? Why are you saying these things? What is the point behind this? And how do you get so devoid of your understanding and so far away from sound words, sound people that you're willing to obstruct this? Do you know, like that you're willing to uphold this? I mean, like, why would you be okay with this? Is there nobody in your corner that's like, hey, I think you should check on this. You should think about this. Like, who is talking to you? What are your kids saying? Like, what are you thinking about right now?
Yeah, nah, he definitely just seemed like a empty person. Like it was weird watching the live. So I rock with everything that you just said. Obviously, we can't confirm that he's feeding, the sounds from the live into AI. It's possible. For me, it like those lives are just try to build up credibility, more credibility in the community so that he can do kind of like this switch and just really, lean heavy into this AI stuff. I would really love to know the deal that he has with these folks. But it's frustrating that it's
I wonder if
Timbaland.
we can ask Suno.
It's frustrating that it's Timbaland. Like it's what he's always meant to music, and the black culture, and it's just super frustrating that it's him.
And to me, the way he's representing women, that's one of the things to me that make Timbaland so great to me is he had the ability to pull out and carve out sounds and give space and place to women's voices specifically. Like Aaliyah, Missy Elliott, like there's so many people, Carrie Hilson, the writers that he works with so many female producers and writers. For me, he was a hero more than even just sonically. This is like one of the most disgruntling, heartbreaking things. It was kind of like when I met the producer that we mentioned earlier. I don't even want to be attached to dude, but like that, when I started working with bro, I was like, damn, this is why they say don't work with your heroes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to see any, I feel like I really got to get off the internet. Like, not that I've ever deified a human, but to look at a person and think that they're a great human and then realize there's nothing in them that you would desire to be around is kind of tragic to me.
I was just going to say, I disagree that AI is a tool. AI is a framework for creating tools, just like any other, patriarchy is a framework. Racial constructs, those are frameworks. AI is a framework that's being used all types of ways. So I wouldn't ever use the AI as a tool to excuse some of this behavior. Yesterday on Grok, right? That's Elon Musk's internal AI system. There were some viral tweets going around where a random woman just posted a selfie and all these dudes underneath were asking Grok to create these sexual assault fantasies and generate photos. It's dark stuff. And AI as a framework is enabling that. AI as a framework is enabling weaponry to kill children overseas. They're testing it. And this isn't tinfoil hat stuff. This is open AI. They've been militarized. Microsoft, Palantir, Trump's people over there at Palantir, Cisco, Dell, look it up. There's one ethno-state in particular that is utilizing AI weaponry. So again, it's bigger than music, and it is a framework that is much bigger than these tiny little micro tools that we all use. I think the focus is off. I think we're looking at individual tools, comparing them to autotune, which is asinine, and just moving on with the conversation, because the deeper we go, the darker it gets. There's a woman who claims she wrote all the songs and that's her voice. So it's not that an artist is being replaced. She is an artist, and she is certainly talking back in this video. Can I play that clip?
So it actually gets even worse than this. So this is actually the woman who has been writing this stuff for this pop star.
Like, I've been sending Tim my vocals. I've been writing for his AI. He'll send me a beat for me to pen and sing on my Logic, and then I send it to him, and he has AI sing it. And I'm always asking him, like, can I just sing it? Like, I sound good.
Anybody can make any claims.
Yeah, no, they can. But I think the point is,
as much as I don't rock with what they're doing, I don't know if this is, there's enough reasonable doubt for me to not believe this woman. And this is the first time I've seen this video just right now. Like, I could point out multiple things right now that I'm just like, this is why I wouldn't believe it. I don't want to discredit sis. I don't want to tear her down. I'm just saying, I don't know if that's enough for us to sit here and say, this is, I think that almost makes our argument weaker by bringing her into this.
I think the argument is that ultimately we're calling it an AI artist, but there are humans behind it. No matter what, there are humans behind all of this. They have to train on humans. So
100%. Yeah. I just don't know if she's writing it or whatever. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Whether, like, yeah, similar to my, okay, I see what you're saying. Similar to my claim that he might have taken it from TikTok and Instagram Live to feed Suno. It's not substantiated. You're saying it may be coming for her, but we know it's all training on. Yeah, I'm with you. My bad.
Even by her own admission, she's sending stuff to Timbaland. So if what she's saying is true, they have an arrangement going on. That's between them. But again, AI is a framework, and AI has to take from humans. It has to take from humans to further take from humans. So it's taking from us twice. It's taking all of our creations and becoming more efficient than us. And then it's taking again by attempting to make us obsolete. My main questions are these. Let's just review the facts. Number one, Timbaland has a deal with UMG via Mosley Music Group. And I don't know if the UMG Nashville deal is different, Aaron. Number two, Timbaland is the most prominent celebrity spokesperson for Suno, which is a company that is currently being sued by UMG. Conflict of interest. Number three, Timbaland has created an AI label that's separate from the other label. It's called Stage Zero. He's calling it an A-pop label. This is according to various published stories, which on the live he claims was just a headline. I don't know what that means. He was basically saying, I don't know, you just read a headline. And it's like, yeah, but the headline has very specific information. So it was a weird interaction. Number 4, he's tried making AI albums in the past, and there was crazy backlash. The Notorious B.I.G. posthumous AI album, they killed it. There was, remember that FN Mecca guy that was an AR artist? It was so unpopular, even the label abandoned it. Lastly,
he was using
Timbaland
racial slurs.
Well, yeah, and there's some problematic stuff potentially with this Tata artist. Lastly, Timbaland is currently tripling down on his AI endeavors in spite of the backlash from the fans, from fellow creatives, and even colleagues in the industry like Young Guru. So why is he dying on this hill? What does he know that we don't? This is a lot of commitment to something when the entire tide is against you. Why aren't you just kind of moving out the way? What's going on?